My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Pribyslavitz.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
My men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord.
Greetings, lad.
The bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhoyed, and that's a much more serious matter.
Merhoyed. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Pribyslavitz. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Pribyslavitz?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
Is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschen seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppelder.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
I doubt it, sir. Merhoyed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhoyed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
Hal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Radzig sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Radzig? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
He took me into his garrison.
Hal the blacksmith's boy in the service of his lordship. Who'd have ever thought it? My luck hasn't been so good.
You survived. That's something to thank God for.
True enough. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Oh, damn. Are you alright?
Well, at least I haven't caught the sickness.
But you've been hurt.
It happened during the raid. One of those damn bandits fell on me, horse and all. My arm's badly broken, but better than a broken neck.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melachar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Melachar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I can tell you what he'll do with him. He'll hand him over to Sir Radzig's envoy. Me.
I doubt Malachar will let him go willingly. The folk here are baying for blood. Lives have been lost. First the raid, and now this plague. God knows what they'll do.
Can you describe the raiders?
I don't know. They came at dusk, so you couldn't see their faces. About 20 of them. They weren't humans, though. They spoke Czech.
You talked to them?
No. They were shouting at us. They were very sure of themselves to begin with, but when we hit them in the woods, they didn't look so brave.
I know you've got courage enough for any man, but how did a bunch of untrained villagers manage to hold off armed bandits?
One of the village lads caught sight of them coming through the woods and told Melachar, who roused the whole village, and everyone grabbed what they could. Pitchforks, axes, flails, and we went out to face them.
What? You mounted an assault against them?
Aye, and that was the key. It was the last thing those whoresons expected. A few of them still managed to break through to the village, probably wanted to torch it. But even the women here were armed with what they could find, and they took the bastards by surprise.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Vurba. Although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melachar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Merhoyed?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Can you tell me something about Old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
That's normal to grieve, though.
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where can I find this Straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
What's Melachar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melachar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
Where does Melachar live?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Melachar lives in the left-hand one.
What? Have you come for my wife? You're out of luck. I'm old Straw, don't you know? Straw! You've taken my son. But you shan't take my wife. You bastard.
I've come to help your wife.
To help her over to the other side. Isn't that God's own truth?
I don't have time to explain everything to you. I need to...
So you don't have the time? Come here, you fucker. Here! Curse it!
Make it stop.
Leave me be. Leave me be.
Please, no more suffering.
Fever. Just like Melchar's wife.
God save you.
I need to talk to that captive.
Sorry.
But I'm Sir Radzig Cobbler's envoy, and I urgently need to question the captive.
I don't care if you're the Pope's envoy. I can't let you in. If you want to talk to the captive, you have to get permission from Melkar.
It looks like he's caught that sickness. What am I going to do? If he dies, I'll be right back where I started. Jesus, he's sick too. I'll have to try and keep him alive.
Stop! What?
Jesus, he's sick too. I'll have to try and keep him alive.
Make it stop!
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My God.
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Merhoyed was attacked.
Oh God. How is Matthias?
Wounded in the arm. He's being... Before you go...
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to do...
Very well.
Come back when you know...
Thank you. Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhoyed. Johanka said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Yes, it's very interesting, but can you help these people?
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
No, I mean, not yet. Several households have, around half the village.
Merhoyed? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. What are we to do about it? Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. So follow me to the scriptorium.
So, where shall we start?
Evidently there's something amiss in the digestive tract.
In the what?
The
right.
The trouble lies between the mouth and the arsehole.
Uh-huh.
We can rule nothing out at this stage. You look in the breviarium to sickness causa. It's a renowned manuscript from...
But I don't know Latin.
Fortunately for you, our brother librarian is translating these momentous medical... Study the breviary carefully and compare... I'll try the proven classics. Avicenna... I'll wager that Jerome has taken them out again.
I think I have it.
Yes?
It's poisoning from tainted water.
Really? That sounds rather unlikely. But if Master Johann of St. Paul's says so, who am I to contradict him? We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I could help with that.
Really?
Yes. I know my way.
An ordinary fellow who knows the arts of physic? Who would have thought it? Excellent. I'll give you the recipe, and you have my permission to make use of the monastery laboratory.
I'll get started right away.
I, meanwhile...
Merhoyed.
Oh, yes, Merhoyed.
Thank you, brother. There's one man there who needs your care more urgently than anyone. He's an important witness in the investigation of some murders.
Out of the question.
Please, help me. I can't sleep again. What will happen to my family? I can't stay here. Please. What will happen to my family? Please, help me. God, what will happen to my family? I can't sleep again. God, what will happen to my family? can't. I just can't. God, what will happen to my family? What will happen to my family? Please, help me. Please. God, what will happen to my family? Please.
Now let's wait and see what happens. So here I am. How are things looking?
It doesn't look good at all, my boy. Do you have the potion?
Yes, here it is.
I'll take 4 doses, you take the rest, and let's split up. I'll see to the Straw family, while you deal with Melikar's wife and the rest. They wouldn't let me go near that prisoner. They want him to suffer. Despite his terrible crimes, to treat a fellow mortal soul like that.
Perhaps I'll be able to convince them. I promised I'd bring them help, and I've kept my word. They must let me go to him.
I hope so, but in the short...
We found out what could be the cause of the affliction.
And?
You should check where your water's coming from. Nicodemus and I think that it comes down to poisoning.
It'd be hard to poison the spring, but what about the well? Good Lord, that's difficult to believe.
I have my suspicions.
The bastards weren't satisfied with killing young Straw. The fucking bastards!
You're back?
Yes, and I have something to make you well again.
Good Lord above.
Drink this and give it to everyone in the house.
Thank you.
Brother, is that you?
Yes, the sled.
Is this hope?
It is. Drink.
What are you doing here?
Don't worry. Drink this, right?
A remedy. You have hand.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Who are you?
My name is Henry, and I'm investigating on behalf of Sir Radzig Kobyla.
Oh, I see. You'll have an easy job with me, boy.
How so?
I won't give you any problems.
Don't imagine it'll save your skin, though.
Oh, I don't. I'll dangle on a rope soon enough. Nothing surer. Only I'd like to get it over quick and not keep the Rattay executioner busy too long, if you catch my drift.
I understand.
What do you want to know?
Everything. First, tell me who's behind all this. Who do you follow?
I follow the coin, lad. We all do.
That's not news to me, but who pays the coin?
I got my pay from Runt, like all the men in Pribyslavitz. And Runt got his money from the chief, and the chief had the coin minted.
Who's the chief? The bandit leader?
Bandit? If he heard you say that, he'd have your head on a spike. That's the kind of man he is. Nobody knows much about him, though. Only that he ain't Czech.
So he's a foreigner? German?
Don't think so. For sure he ain't Czech. And he's got plenty of coin. I'd stake my neck on it. He's got noble blood in his veins.
Judging by how he looks.
More by the way he talks. Any man can dress up like nobility, but he spoke all la-di-da like a lord.
Where's that chief of yours now?
I've no idea. After Privislovitz, he ordered us to raid Merhoyed, but he wasn't with us. He went off who knows where. I don't reckon he'll be out of your hair for long, though.
So the chief is in command of all these operations?
You could say. I'd say you're looking at it all wrong, though.
How's that?
You ask who's in charge and who answers to who, only this ain't some noble court. There was all sorts of gangs in Privislovitz, big and small. Robber barons who had their own brigades calling them my lord, and common footpads who hadn't a pot to piss in. Men came, men went. Lots of squabbles, the occasional murder. Old cronies and old rivals were meeting. You know what I mean?
I suppose so.
It was one big muddle. The main thing was nobody asked questions. I didn't give a damn who the chief was, or what he had in mind, or whether he had one ball or two. All I was interested in was the coin.
Uh-huh. How did you know about Privislovitz? Who took you there?
A fellow by the name of Moorcock. We met near Kuttenberg. I was robbing burghers who were fleeing the town from Sigismund's army. We got to talking, and he told me about Privislovitz.
Why did you attack Merhoyed?
The chief himself gave us the order. I reckon he wanted to show the local lords he was nowhere near finished.
So he's planning more raids?
The chief's always planning something. Privislovitz was only the start.
So you knew the coin was counterfeit?
Course I did. I brought those groschen to Privislovitz, along with a few other things.
Did you? And where did the forgeries come from?
Like, where were they made? I don't know. Some merchant by the name of Menhart gave them to me. We used to meet at the charcoal piles near Rovna, by the crossroads there. As it happens, I'm supposed to be meeting him there about now.
So Menhart's waiting there?
Might be, might not. He could have heard what happened in Privislovitz and decided not to show.
And does this Menhart know where the coin comes from?
How should I know? To me, he's just another link in the chain. I deal with him, and I never ask who he deals with. Just like he knows nothing about me.
I see. So I suppose there's no point asking you if you know any more about him.
It'd be a waste of breath. All he did was give me the coin, and then we went our separate ways.
Who else knows about the money?
Apart from the chief, Menhart, Runt and me, there was a few others. The men got some real money too, with the false stuff. It'd be suspicious if they only had freshly minted coin.
You said you used to bring other things. What were they?
Letters. Menhart would give them to me for the chief. This time I was taking an answer back to Menhart too.
Have you still got that letter?
Aye. The yokels round here ain't got much interest in correspondence, apparently.
Give it to me then.
I'd be delighted.
What were the letters about?
If I knew how to read, I wouldn't be trusted to carry letters, would I? I took them from Menhart to the chief and back. That's all.
That's all I need to know for now.
For now, for the love of Christ, boy, don't let the executioner interrogate me. I've already told you everything I know.
I can't deny you've been cooperative. I'll do my best to see you get a quick end.
Henry! I think old Straw's come for the brigand!
Step back from that heathen, young fella!
But
But you can't kill me! Not just like that!
Shut the fuck up, you weasel, and keep it fucking shut! You don't even get a say!
Calm down, Straw. He won't escape justice. After all, he's...
Don't stand in my way, Melikar!
Let Henry decide. He's the one who saved his life.
He's coming with me. He's Sir Radzig's prisoner, and only Sir Radzig has the right to decide if he lives or dies.
I don't give a fuck about you or Sir Radzig fucking Kabila. That bastard killed my boy, and I'm gonna kill him.
You'll have to deal with me first.
Bollocks! I'll wait, mate. Here! I'm over here!
What's that young fellow? That daughter's orphan. That cutthroat bastard.
Good to see you, lad. Sir Hanush told me you won his tourney. Good job, Henry.
I've returned from Merhoyed, sir.
How does it look then?
I brought them help from the monastery. Brother Nicodemus and Johanka from Skalitz. Fortunately, Nicodemus was able to cure the disease. Well, at least what he's doing looks promising so far.
Thank Christ. Some good news for a change. What about the captive? Did you question him?
He was infected too.
I see. Did he survive?
Fortunately, he survived and I had a chance to question him.
What did you find out?
He was transporting the false coins to Pribyslavitz. He got them from some merchant called Menhart.
I don't know him.
Neither do I. But I know where the money's handed over. It's not far from Rovna, and this Menhart should be waiting there about now.
Excellent, Henry. We mustn't let this opportunity slip through our fingers. You go there and put pressure on this Menhart to tell us what he knows. Don't go yet. There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
You haven't disappointed me. Nothing against Bernard, Robert, or any of those others. But none of them could find out as much as you. At least not without beatings and torture. And that doesn't always work. You're a godsend, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Now go and find out who's behind everything, and then we'll deal with them.
Yes, sir. Sir.
What is it?
Sometimes I ask myself what it all means. Why does God allow such things to happen? All this slaughter and revenge, over and over.
It's a hard question. I'm no theologian. But long ago I came to the conclusion that the only thing that makes sense is that it's all a trial. Life is one long series of problems to solve. The more you solve, the better a man you become.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, just look at the pampered ones who have no concerns in life, like young Lord Capon, for instance. I shudder to think how he will rule when his time comes. Tribulations spawn in life over and over again, and we must stand our ground and face them. So, I go to Sasso and solve this one.
You can rely on me, sir.
Good luck, son.
Yeah. Good God, what a bloody mess. This one won't be going anywhere anytime soon. This is valuable. They must have been in a hurry or they'd never have left it behind. It looks like that wagon was loaded with charcoal. Blood. Another clue. I must be going the right way. Charcoal burners. Someone must have seen or heard something.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
What happened at the crossroads?
Huh?
Enough bullshit. I know you dragged somebody here, so tell me what happened.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Boyar?
Boyar cracks the whip around here. You'll recognize him by his red cap.
Thank you.
Good day to you.
What do you know about the wagon that's been ambushed at the crossroads?
I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes. Is that a problem?
You're what passes for bristle and gristle round here, are you?
Possibly.
So listen to me, you hero. If you don't want me to wipe that crooked grin off your face, you'll start talking. Got it?
Yeah, right. Because everyone knows charcoal burners are thieves and killers. Well, let me tell you, that's not at all what happened.
I'll be glad to hear you out.
Let's just get this straight. We didn't ambush anyone.
And what were you doing at the crossroads then?
We were just passing, and we saw the wagon. So we took the sacks.
Just the sacks? What about the trail of bloodstains leading to the camp?
I was just getting to that. We also found one wounded man. What am I saying, wounded? The fellow was hacked like a martyr in some holy picture. He begged us to hide him away.
So you have him here somewhere? Is he still alive?
The fellow has quite a will to live. I'll give him that.
Do you know who ambushed that wagon?
Not a clue. We came a long way after.
Did he tell you anything?
He wasn't exactly talkative. His lungs are full of holes, so talking's a problem.
Where is he?
We've locked him away, in the shed. There.
I want to talk to him.
I don't know. He paid us. We're not to let anyone near him.
We've been through that already.
All right. Just calm down. Here, take the key.
Thanks.
Who are you?
Never mind that. I've come to help you.
Thank God. I thought I'd breathe my last here. Lucky for me, my guardian angel comes bursting through the door.
I'm no angel, so you'll have to answer a few questions before you get my help.
Ah, well, I knew it wouldn't be that easy.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. But that's all I know.
And where's this Menhart disappeared off to?
No idea. I blacked out after the attack. Only came to my senses once I got here. I don't even know where here is.
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while.
And where did he go?
I don't know. I got a beating, and then I passed out.
Do you know what you were carrying in that wagon?
I never asked Menhart that.
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try. Tell me more about the night.
Where's the coin?
What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin. I swear.
Ah! Where are those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks! They're behind the shed.
That's him! That's got to be that knight!
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Fuck! Stop! Stop right there!
Yeah. 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 Verdammt nochmal. Lost your wind, have you? Damn. Well, no. It seems you have some skill. Oh. Scheiße! Not so brave now, are you, Junge? Oh. Geh zum Teufel!
Well?
Who is that, Taffy? It seems I have finally met my match.
I want to know everything. Who you are, why you're here, and what you know about the ambushed wagon.
You may call me Ulrich. I will tell you nothing more until you give me some assurances.
Assurances? How about this? If you talk, I'll spare you.
Do you expect me to believe that? I know full well how these stories end. I have been at the other end of the sword more times than you can count.
I give you my word.
The word of a thief? Jesus. It is true what the preachers say. This world has gone quite mad. You had better kill me. I'm finished, anyway. Just as you are.
Unlike you, I'm not a criminal.
You believe that the forging of money is an honest trade?
I've got nothing to do with that. I'm not a forger, I'm the one investigating them.
What? What are you saying?
I'm in the service of Sir Radzig Kobyla, Governor of Skalitz and Royal Hetman.
Then we have something in common. I also am here under orders from above.
From who?
Perhaps you might sheath that weapon, so that we may talk eye to eye. If we do indeed have a common cause.
Stand up.
It is true our meeting has not begun well. But if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobyla, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Meinhard, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you, but first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Pfeiffer. If you truly serve Sir Radzig, then you must know him.
I think I know who you mean. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made, but I do not understand such technical matters. Master Pfeiffer, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me, just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sassau and see what I might learn there.
Shouldn't you go with me to see Pfeiffer?
No. I must remain in Sassau. I have some, loose ends that must be tied.
What's your name, anyway?
I told you. I am Ulrich.
Just Ulrich?
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true. I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I am a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Who are you working for?
I understand why you wish to know, but this does not mean I am at liberty to tell you.
Very well. I shan't beat it out of you. Tell me what you know about the false coins.
Do you know Passau?
No, what is it?
A city in Bavaria. Passau is a city of trade. All the currencies in Christendom change hands there.
I see. And that would include Prague groschen?
Some months ago, counterfeit groschen were discovered to be circulating there. They are made from copper plated with silver. The Passau alderman began to investigate and learned that a family of money changers was involved. They were bringing the forged coins in from Bohemia and sending back real ones. My liege lord is allied to the Passau alderman, so they requested that he deal with the matter.
And so he sent you?
Yes. He needed a man that he could trust absolutely.
And what about that wagon? What happened there exactly?
I followed Menhard from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sassau.
So they were transporting false groschen on that wagon?
Yes. On their way here, they brought real coin. Groschen, forints, francs, and the like. But now, the sacks were full of counterfeits.
What do you mean about the connection with Sassau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who were arrested. They told him that the coins were made in a monastery.
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the Passau scribe wrote down in his reports of the interrogations.
Why did you let them get here before attacking?
I wanted to discover where they hand over their coins, which I failed to do. Besides, Maynard had an armed escort, and they kept two busy roads and lodged at inns throughout their journey, until he came to this god-forsaken track. I cannot guess why he came here, but it was the perfect opportunity to strike.
What happened on that track?
I ambushed them. I took down two, but that bastard Manhart cut the horses loose and rode away.
What next?
While I was chasing Manhart, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke his neck.
So we won't get anything out of him?
Unfortunately not.
What happened to Menhart?
His dead, of course.
I know, but what did you do with his body?
I buried it. He was a bastard. But I am not one to leave Christian remains rotting in the woods.
I see. And where's his grave?
He ran from the wagon uphill along the path to the north. Along the way there is an old ruined cabin. I buried him behind it. And don't think I don't know why you ask. Robbing graves is shameful.
That's not it at all.
If you say so.
Very well. I'll go and see Master Fayfar.
Godspeed. I will wait in Sassau at the Wagoner's Inn.
Greetings. What business have you?
Master Fayfar, I need to speak with you. I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. It turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins. Then that real money was being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master's allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau, interrogation held this day, put to pen by the quaestor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which certainly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sassau. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. But this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognise the hand. It's a Clement of Caplitz. The High Scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzig and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins and quicksilver for the the other part.
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month they've told me they've none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
One beer for me.
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous git.
Surely such valuable material can't just vanish. Where can it be?
I wish I knew. Every time I ask for the red paint, there's a different reason why they haven't got the quicksilver to mix it. Once they said the goods never arrived, and another time that the wagon carrying it was ambushed.
Satisfied?
Then it went astray somewhere.
And you think they're lying?
Jesus, what do I know?
Here.
Well, it seems pretty strange to me. 3 times in a row the same thing goes missing. There's bad luck and then there's something else.
All the best.
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
Certainly. I'll
That's
fetch
all I
it
need to
right
know
away.
for now. Do you have any quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
Nobody. I'm just asking.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Bollocks. Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing! And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on hallowed ground.
You're a fine one to speak of hallowed ground, a lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy.
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me, are you?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now tell me what's been going on.
I swear, I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon, directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night, it was, without a crest, armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota, a scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery, that they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
Very well. Thank you. You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Right.
So what have you found out so far?
I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapota.
Not much, but it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard, Master Engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. How goes the work, Master?
Getting there, getting there. You need something, my boy?
You've got quite a large workshop, Master. You don't do all the work alone, surely?
I'm usually here with my apprentice, Florian. Of course, by simple observation, you'll note that this is not currently the case, and I'm here alone. Which means that either I'm a liar or something out of the ordinary has occurred.
I see. I think. So what's happened to Florian?
He shares the fate of the pharaohs for today. The fifth scourge of Egypt did smite him, the plague. Or so his message advised me.
Jesus Christ, the plague?
Do remain calm. I'm quite certain the plague from which Florian is suffering wasn't a judgment from on high. Or if it was a judgment on excessive drinking. I'm told such an ailment can be of truly biblical proportions.
What's he like, your apprentice, Florian?
I'm afraid that his exuberant youth has taken its toll. He's been acting strangely of late. I fear he has delusions of persecution.
I don't really know what you mean, at all.
Recently, for example, he told me that someone was following him. And the very next day he bought a padlock from the blacksmith and locked up his chest. As though I would ever sneak into it. In any case, why the interest? Are you looking for him?
Something like that.
May I ask why?
He owes me money.
Naturally. Dice or boozing, was it? Pray do tell.
Both.
Sodom and Gomorrah are too good for the boy. Here you go. I'll dock his wages.
Thank you, Master. You're most kind, but I'd rather get it from him myself.
If you think he'll have anything to give, please yourself. About your question, you'll find him at home, no doubt feverishly dying. He sleeps in the baker's cellar.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. I'll leave you to your work. You look quite sprightly for an invalid.
What? Who the hell are you?
My name's Henry, and I'm making inquiries for Sir Radzig Kobyla.
And what do you want from me?
Straight to the point, then. All right. I've been investigating counterfeit money, and the trail led me straight to you. Does the name Rapota mean anything to you?
I don't know. Maybe?
Don't bother. I know you know him. You make the punch dies for the counterfeiters. How do you hand them over? Do you know where their workshop is?
I can't say anything. I'll deny everything and you've got nothing on me. No evidence, just accusations.
You just incriminated yourself.
One man's word against another. Like I said, I'll deny everything.
And do you really think that's going to help you? Your word means nothing. You've got the tools, the knowledge, and the workshop. The only thing missing is a motive, but I'm guessing it's money.
I don't give a fuck about money.
So what then?
Those bastards kidnapped Esther. If I don't cooperate, they'll kill her.
Who is Esther?
My girl, of course. That scum took her right out of the bathhouse.
I'm sorry about that.
Me too. Listen, I'll tell you everything, I promise. But only if I know that Esther's safe.
What, so I'm to go searching for her in the woods?
I know where they're keeping her, but nobody will help me. And what can puny little me do faced with those strapping great villains?
Look, Florian, I'm sorry for what you're going through, honestly. But I'm not the only one who's after these people. As soon as they get wind of something, they'll be out of here and Esther will be gone with them.
If Rapiter finds I've told you anything, they'll kill her.
Not if I catch Rapiter first. He's here in town, isn't he?
Yes, he is. They found me in the tavern one evening, caught me when I went to the shit pile. And they started to badger me about working for them.
They?
Yes, Rapiter. And a knight they called Sir Jezek.
And then what?
They explained what they wanted from me, and I told them to sod off.
I'm guessing that didn't go down too well.
It wasn't all that bad. They just threw me on the dung heap and left. I thought it was just a drunkard's joke. But then they took Esther.
Where will I find Rapiter?
He's usually wherever I am.
What does that mean?
He watches me. Everywhere I go. And when I'm at home, he sits on the bench in the square, watching my house.
So he's there now?
Hard to say. Sometimes I see him in the tavern on the green, buying supplies.
All right. At least I know where to start. And you go to work tomorrow, you hear?
Why?
Because we have to lure him out. And besides, your master will surely be glad to see you.
I have my doubts.
How did you hand over the punch die to them?
Rapiter waited for me behind the church. I didn't want to give it to them without seeing Esther first.
And did they let you?
Yes, although I don't really know why. They took me to a derelict farm in the Skalitz Hills. My poor Esther, they'd scared her half to death.
So at least you know she's alive.
Who knows? It was a while ago. And they never let her go, even after I did what they wanted. They said they'd be needing more.
More punch dies?
They wear out over time. And they have to be replaced regularly.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
At first, I took it for a bad joke. And then, when they snatched Esther, there was nothing to be done.
I suppose I'd better go. I'd hate the bastard to get away.
Go. I hope you get revenge.
I might know where the materials from the monastery get passed on to the forgers.
Where?
Up the hill by Sasar Woods.
Shall we go right now?
No, I need to find out more. I don't even know if anyone will be there now, but you could keep an eye out there. In case anyone appears, I mean.
Agreed.
Are you Rapiter, by any chance?
Pardon me? Do we know each other?
No, but I'm hoping to change that.
Well, I don't have much time right now. I'd best be off.
It'll only take a moment.
All right then. What do you want?
I know you buy quicksilver for those counterfeiters.
It seems there's no point making excuses.
None. Now tell me where their workshop is.
Of course. That will be the best solution.
So?
Let's leave it for another time. No, I give up.
So, are you ready to talk?
I will. Just don't hurt me, please. What do you want from me?
Tell me where the workshop is. Don't worry. Your master won't be punishing you for betraying him. You're both going to have too many other problems.
It's in the Skullet's mines.
That doesn't narrow it down very much.
On the eastern side of Skullet's Hill, there's an abandoned mine gallery. Well, it used to be abandoned. Now there's a small camp in front of it, and the workshop is inside.
Who is your lord?
Sir Jezek of Ronov. That's what he calls himself, although Ronov Castle's long gone.
What happened to it?
Ronov used to belong to Vincent, Count Lichtenberg. After his death, it fell to Margrave Jobst, and he had it pulled down. He knew full well that Vincent's vassals would resist him.
Why? Everyone knows that when a lord dies without issue, the king can confer his estate on whoever he pleases.
But Vincent had descendants. Ronov only fell to the Margrave because he declared them all illegitimate. All because Vincent had refused to fight for him against Sir Prokop. Sir Jezek led a revolt of the vassals, but Jobst rounded them all up. Only Sir Jezek got away. Since then, he's become the scourge of the domain.
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Rapota. I used to be the executioner's henchman in Brno.
And how did you come to be serving Sir Jezek?
I helped him escape from prison. If I was going to serve anyone, better Sir Jezek than the executioner.
So you saw being a brigand's henchman as a step up in the world?
I thought if things changed and he stopped marauding, he might get Ronov back and take me into his service.
Well, after this little escapade, you can forget about that. You'll be lucky if you don't end up swinging on the gallows.
It's all the same anyway now. I've betrayed him.
So who's Sir Jezek working for? Don't tell me he just took it into his head one day to start forging coins.
That's not for me to know. Sir Jezek was on speaking terms with various lordships.
Such as?
We were often guests at the monastery, but I slept in the hayloft, so I heard nothing.
And apart from that?
In the camp, you'd occasionally see a Hungarian nobleman, but I don't know what he was doing there, or who he is.
I think I've heard enough.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
I don't want to hang. It's a horrible death. I'd prefer you just kill me here and now.
As you wish.
Our Father, who art in heaven. Oh, dear God.
I finally found out where the forger's workshop is. Master Fafar was right. The forgers are sticking close to the supply source. Their workshop is somewhere in the mines. The entrance is on the eastern side of the hill. I've no idea what to expect there, but I'd rather go there with some backup.
I will be glad to give it. Lead on.
What are you doing here?
To
Tired
arms!
of life?
Get over here! Over here! Where is it?
You'll get what for.
Fuck! To arms! Get over here!
What's the matter? Come on.
Weak at the knees, have you? I'll wring your neck, sir.
You're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well ended.
I hope you have said your prayers.
Oh, Christ. Oh. You're dead.
Damn!
Come on then, you.
Jesus Christ!
What now?
Yeah!
Are you afraid, boy?
You won't last long.
Well then, was it worth it?
Hey.
Yeah?
Watch out, got it searing hot. 55, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Jesus Christ. Who are you and what are you doing here?
I'm here at the command of the royal hetman, Sir Radzig Kobyla.
And who's he?
That's no concern of yours.
I'm sure we could come to some sort of agreement. I have plenty of coin.
We can come to an agreement that you'll keep your mouth shut. Please, don't take this personally.
Wait!
What? Do you want to do it? Be my guest. It gives me no pleasure.
You can't kill him. I have orders to take him to Ratai.
That is unfortunate. I have orders to kill everyone involved in this business.
You can't do that!
I have no choice, as you are aware.
Why do you want to kill him? He may have valuable information.
For that exact reason. My master does not wish this man to fall into the wrong hands, especially those of Radzig Kobyla.
You can tell your lord the man is dead. He'll never find out.
But he will. Or do you think you can lock this man away from sight until Judgment Day?
Why not?
Do not be naive, boy. Look around you. This land swarms with rats and snakes, especially now. There is no secret that is not for sale. If I let you have him, my own head will be on a spike before the month is out.
You don't have to go back to the Rosenbergs.
How do you know about the Rosenbergs?
Master Fafar recognized the writing on your letter of passage.
Just as I said, there is nothing safe from prying eyes in this land. And where would you suggest I go?
Into Sir Radzig's service. He needs people like you.
I serve Kobyla. Out of the question. If he learned of all that I did for the Rosenbergs, he would hang me from the nearest tree. But you are right, I do not have to return to the Rosenbergs. In fact, I cannot.
Why not?
I am a knight without a crest, without allegiance. No one was meant to know whom I serve. If the Rosenbergs hear that I have been found out, they will see to it I vanish. They cannot afford to be associated with me.
Where will you go then?
Where the road takes me, as I have many times before. Farewell, Henry.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Please, please, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement.
You can talk all you like, but not here and not to me. Let's go. Master Fafar is very keen to meet you.
Good work, Henry.
Thank you, Master Fafar. It wasn't easy, I can tell you.
I'll take some men and have a good look around there.
And what should I do?
You should get some rest and go to Rattay. In the meantime, Sir Radzig will have this wretch questioned. Maybe he'll get something useful out of him.
All right. I'll see you in Rattay then.
There's the man. Good work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you to take a well-earned rest, but unfortunately I need one more thing from you.
Whatever you command.
Jezek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
Me?
Indeed. Normally I'd send for Captain Bernard to beat it out of him, but then I told myself that if he's so keen to speak to you...
I'll try to get something out of him. Where is he?
He's locked up in the tower. Bernard will give you the key.
Very well, sir.
May I be of service, my lord?
Yes, Henry. Chief Engineer Fafar has been asking for someone reliable to assist him.
The chief engineer? Is it about Skalitz?
In a manner of speaking. Master Fafar has, well, evil forebodings. I think he may want to send you to the Skalitz mines.
Can they really be restored?
Everything can be rebuilt with enough will and resources. Well, everything except a man. You'll get the details from Chief Engineer Fafar. For the time being, consider yourself his handyman.
Certainly. Where do I find him? Is he here in the castle?
Where? Now that's a good question. He ought to be somewhere at Perkstein unless he's gone off to deal with some problem or other. Look...
Well, thank you.
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
You brought me here. You should consider it an honor.
Well, it's true to say I have a lot of questions.
Well, there you are, then. It did cross my mind, though, that it might be nice to get some assurances for my cooperation. After all, I'm the one the Margrave unjustly declared the scourge of the land and expelled from Moravia. They even pulled my beautiful castle down. It was the necessity of making a living that forced me to take some liberties.
Do you really want to question the authority of the Margrave?
I've always been loyal to the crown, but what can I do when the Margrave stole my fief?
That's not why we're here. I don't care about your conflict with the Margrave. It's your crimes against the king I'm worried about. The king you say you've always been so loyal to.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Eric gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago, and they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago.
And then what?
We rode...
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric.
This Eric? You reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Eric? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced. And after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see.
Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Eric said he probably got cold feet.
Crimps? You're telling me this Eric is recruiting armed men in Sasau?
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so. That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Radzig? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
I'll have to think about it. I don't want to annoy Sir Radzig.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things. There's some foreigner called Eric behind the counterfeiting ring, and someone highly placed at the monastery.
The monastery? Really?
That's what Jezek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true, we'll have to proceed with the utmost caution.
Why? Can't we just go to the monastery to investigate?
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
So what will you do?
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Eric? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn! So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Jezek is convinced this Eric is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Jezek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad. Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasau and try to find them.
I'm not sure where to start, sir.
Then ask around the alehouses and inns, or at the Rathaus. Someone must have heard something. These things can't be entirely kept in the dark. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the Crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
Sir, there's one more thing. Sir Jezek went with me without resistance, because I promised him he could come to an agreement with you.
My boy, my boy. You make promises in my name? That could turn out very badly for both of us. But, if it can prevent bloodshed, why the hell not? We may well come to some arrangement after all, but I can't say yet what will become of him. You'd better run along.
As you command, sir.